everyone, my name is Bryan and I work for Sunderland's Change for Life programme. We're part of Sunderland City Council, and a big part of what we do within our team is promote healthier lifestyles to residents across all areas of the city. In this short video, I'm going to be giving a brief introduction to what mindfulness is and what some of the benefits from practicing mindfulness can be, followed by a family mindfulness activity that you can do at home, and ending with some hints and tips around how we can be more mindful in our everyday lives. So to begin with, I'll ask the question, what is mindfulness? Well, if you did an internet search for what is mindfulness, you'll find a lot of information with maybe varying definitions of what mindfulness is, but what you should find is a common thread, a common understanding that mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment. If you think about our everyday lives, we spend so little of our time in the present moment because we're planning, or we're thinking about things that have happened, or we've got school to go to, we've got work to go to, we've got friends to see, family to see. We're here, there and everywhere, and we're often sort of doing one thing and thinking about the next thing, or thinking about something that has happened or might happen or might not even happen. So mindfulness is about actually kind of finding a way to bring ourselves into the present moment. And there are various ways we can do that. We can do it formally, which will be like the mindfulness practice that we're going to do in a little while. Or we can also incorporate mindfulness into everyday tasks as well, which we'll talk about a little bit near the end. But to do mindfulness is often referred to as practicing mindfulness. And if you can start to practice mindfulness in your everyday life, there are many benefits that we can gain from that. To name just a few, it can improve our mental well-being. It can promote more enjoyment in life. It can help us to understand ourselves better, and it can also help us to recognise the signs and symptoms of stress and anxiety, and how we can deal with those easier as well. So many benefits, and we've only probably just scratched the surface with the ones that we've mentioned there, if you can start to incorporate mindfulness into your everyday life. Now, we're going to move on shortly to the mindfulness activity, which you said it's a family activity. So the idea here, is to get everybody together for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. Now, did you know there's 1,440 minutes in a day? All asking here is to get together for 5 of those minutes, although we do know how precious time is. And we've titled this activity Regroup, Reset and Refocus. And it's a breathing exercise, and it's also known as a grounding activity. So the idea here is to kind of like say, get together, regroup, reset. What we're doing here, we're going to sort of slow things down a little bit, and then refocus so we can kind of move into the next part of the day a little bit easier, a little bit calmer, a little bit more collected. So it's a guided practice. It'll be an audio clip only, so the video will go off and you'll hear my voice only. You'll be given all the instructions to do as you go through it. But what I would suggest is if you could, turn off any distractions. So no TV on, no radio, phones turned off ideally. So you can, like I say, be as much in the present moment as possible. But it would really be great if everyone can kind of sort of get together and have a go at this together. And at the end, see how you found it. How did you feel doing it? How do you feel afterwards? And then make a little pledge for the rest of the day ahead. Something that you would like the rest of the day to kind of look like. Okay, so like I say, it's a guided practice. You'll be given all the instructions as we go along. Just find a comfortable spot. Turn off any distractions that we've mentioned, and I hope you enjoy the practice. Okay, cheers now. So sitting in a comfortable position, you can close your eyes if that feels okay, or just soften your gaze. And we're going to start to bring our attention to the breath. All I'd like to ask you to do here is breathe as you normally would do, through the mouth or the nose. There isn't a correct way to breathe in the practice. Just feel your breath coming in and feel your breath going out. See if you can notice any different sensations within the body. And where do you notice your breath the most? Do you notice your breath with the chest rising and falling? Your heartbeat? Your tummy rising and falling? Or do you notice it more on the feeling of the air going in at the nose or the mouth? Wherever you notice it most, that's where I'd like you to focus your attention on the breath and experience it. Don't try to change it. Just let it come in as naturally and go out as naturally as possible. And your feet should be flat on the floor. Your sit bones or bottoms should be resting on the cushion of the chair. Arms hanging by the sides of the body, and hands resting wherever's comfortable. On your knees, in your lap, or on the side of a chair. Check in with our back. What is the position of your spine? We want to be sitting in a way that will support ease and energy. Allow the spine to rise up and straighten naturally, without forcing it. And if you've got a nice strong back without any injuries or problems, and you're sitting up against a chair, try bringing your back away from the back of the chair. Concentrating on the breath. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the cushion with a feeling of being grounded in your feet, in your bottom, in your hands. And again, notice what are the sensations you can notice in any of those areas. As you're breathing, you may have started to notice that your mind can go elsewhere. When this happens, as it will, you're not getting anything wrong. This is all part of the practice. If your mind wanders to something that happened earlier, to something that you're going to be doing later, to thinking about whether your football team is going to win at the weekend, whether that boy or girl will say hello to me at school tomorrow, whether you're going to have your favourite food for tea tonight, whatever the thought may be, just notice that thought and bring it back to the breath. Let the thought go and come back to the breath. As kindly and as gently as you can. As many times that this takes. One day will be different from the next. This is the practice. It's a practice of training the mind, and also a practice of training an attitude of kindness and gentleness. Keep breathing. Coming towards the end of the practice now. So for the next 10 seconds, just keep on breathing naturally. And when you feel ready to, you can open your eyes and start thinking about how you found that practice. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that activity. I also hope you had, used your own personal kind of experience with the activity. There's no right or wrong way to have been doing it, but just recognizing, how it felt for you. Did you find it easy? Were you feeling kind of quite calm going into the activity? Did you find it quite easy to, keep your focus on the breath, or did you find that your kind of mind wandered quite a bit through the activity, thinking about this, that, or the other? Whichever is okay, and it's really just about kind of, having your own experience, and kind of, if we can practice mindfulness more on a kind of daily, regular basis, you'll find that some days will be different to others, but you will find that over time it becomes easier to kind of sort of be in the present moment. So just to finish off the video, a few little hints and tips on kind of how we can be sort of more mindful in our everyday lives. And one of the ways we can do this is by just picking out some of the kind of everyday tasks that we can often do quite mindlessly, which I'll hold my hand up to do myself. But I do know, and I do notice that if I can kind of sort of bring my attention to the task in hand, that I can feel quite different while I'm doing that task, and can feel quite different following on from the task as well. So it can be things like, that we do every day, like brushing our teeth, washing pots and pans, watering the garden, mowing the lawn, going out for a walk. So many different things that we do where we're thinking about something else, and sometimes we might have to be thinking about something else that kind of is important, but quite often we can be sort of thinking about things that might be unhelpful and might be creating unhelpful feelings. But if you can just kind of focus on all the small little elements of those everyday tasks and pay your attention to those elements, then we aren't having those kind of sort of like those thoughts, those automatic thoughts that kind of like say might be unhelpful at that time. So for example, take the task of brushing our teeth, something that we should be doing twice a day, and what we can do here is we can focus on all the little elements there. So things like, it might sound silly, but really kind of paying attention to when you pick up the brush, when you put the toothpaste on the bristles, when you run the water over the bristles, when you hear the sound of the water going down the tap, where's that water coming from, where's it going to, focusing on the movement as the toothbrush comes towards your mouth, and when you start to brush, the feeling of the toothbrush on your teeth. What else can you notice there? Just really kind of sort of like picking out all these little elements and really focusing on these elements can, like I say, take you away from other things that could be sort of going on there. And you might just find that after that, not only did you have, none of those other thoughts going on, you might just find that you're kind of sort of feeling a bit calmer for that, and that you can kind of sort of move to the next part of the day, whether it be morning or evening, and easier and more collected, and maybe it's making sort of easier kind of decisions and choices as well. So just a quick little kind of sort of way how we can, like say, bring that mindfulness kind of more informally, if you like, not as the kind of like sitting mindfulness practices, but informally into everyday tasks there. So think about the things that you do, where you could bring those things, those focus on those elements a little bit easier. Okay, so yes, that brings us to the end of the video. Do hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like to find out more about mindfulness, there are some links in the description of the video, so have a click on those if you would like to find out some more information, and hope you have an excellent rest of the day ahead. Cheers now, bye bye.